Hello, all. On this Memorial Day, I wanted to remember and talk about Uncle Theo and Uncle Theo's flag. I recently went to my mom and dad's house and was surprised by my dad when he brought out his brother's flag from his funeral, and that touched me. If you've read my banner listing or my article that I posted on Board Game Geek a few years back, you know that I have a fondness for my uncles and for their service and sacrifice in World War II. And Uncle Theo was the only one of 11 children that was drafted and the only one to die in World War II. Uncle Theo was born Theodore Roosevelt Carroll. Yes, named after a president. And my dad, Franklin Delano Carroll, had a similar uh, naming convention. Theo was born on September 5th, 1923 in Georgia. He was drafted in the United States Army. He served in the 31st Infantry Division, the 155th Regiment, Company E, and he died August 4th, 1944 in New Guinea. There is my dad at his gravesite. The 31st Infantry Division was known as the Dixie Division because it mainly comprised men from Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Michigan, Illinois, and Mississippi. So you see the Georgia in there. That is where my uncle came from. And then you see the 31st Infantry Division. That's their shoulder sleeve insignia. Now, I'm not a great researcher or military researcher as far as trying to track down my uncle's history or the history of the 31st Division, so I only found sparse references, if any, that I could try to tie down to my uncle's action, service, and death. There really wasn't a lot there, and there wasn't a lot of documentation or even memory from some of my relatives. Most of my dad was the youngest of 11 kids and was 11 years younger than Theo. So, there just wasn't that legacy there to draw upon and get that information. I did find this excerpt from The Approach to the Philippines by Robert Ross Smith that did this is the best I could find for a reference to Uncle Theo's combat action and his death. This is the best I can find there. If any of you are better researchers or can tie this down, then or have access to that stuff, but please, by all means, put it in the comments or send me a note. I really would appreciate that. But what I found here is that the 155th was operating in the Wakdi Sarmi island chain and had no previous combat experience. And that's true to what I've heard from some of my when they were alive, my aunts and uncles talking about that he was very very green and went right from basic training into the service and was shipped overseas. So that makes sense to what this article was talking about there. Um, and the action at that point was somewhat limited, and that their division was mainly uh, dealing with patrols, and there was a major action before this time period in August, and one to follow this time period. So this was the action was kind of limited. There wasn't like a major firefight or battle that I could see that took place around the time of his death. Um, and the only really reference I see to the potential casualty here was that the 31st Division had lost 30 men killed at that point. And the best I could surmise from this article or from this book and my limited research is that he was one of those 39 men. Uncle Theo is buried in Georgia outside the family church or the church that the family went to when they were living there. And I visited that half a dozen times and always try to pay my respects when I'm there. And this is a time for all of us to pay our respects to not only loved ones that we have lost, or loved ones that are serving, or others that have served and we have gotten the benefit of their service. This is a time for remembrance and memorial and respect. And so I thought I'd share this with you all today.